Hello everyone. So, while I was writing my script for the new Mana Iceberg video, I ended up omitting some entries that I had planned to include in it. Some I simply forgot about and some I left out because I thought they wouldn't be interesting enough and I really didn't want the video to turn out very long. But since uploading that video, I just kept feeling very regretful over not including these entries. Based on your comments, I know that you, the viewers, liked the video a lot, but I don't know, I just felt very unsatisfied with it because I think it's incomplete. And so I decided to make this video. As I've said, some of these entries were planned for the Iceberg, but there are also some I haven't considered before, and I researched them specifically for this video. It won't be like a typical Iceberg video. I will not talk about the best known things first and about the most obscure stuff at the end. It will be kinda all over the place. If I decide to make an iceberg image for it and you see it on the screen right now, know that the entries aren't divided into tiers or anything like that, they're just randomly placed there. As usual, thank you to Haitani, Mumble Honey, Remilia, Big Body Igor and Canary Casey for supporting me on Patreon, and let's get into the video. So this is actually a correction to something I said in the previous video. I said that Mana's favorite Power Ranger was the blue one. This is wrong. I mean, his favorite Ranger is the blue one, but it wasn't a Power Ranger from the Power Rangers TV show. It was from a different TV show, Himitsu Sentai Goranger, made in the 1970s. Thank you to Kazumi Sawatari for letting me know about this. The reason why I thought that it's Power Rangers is because when I googled that show's name, I just saw the pictures and some search results, and I assumed that it is like a Japanese title for Power Rangers or something. I mean, to start, for some reason I always thought Power Rangers was a Japanese show, and I thought it's way older than it actually is. I'm sorry, the only time I watched some Power Rangers episodes was when I was like very young, like 4 years old maybe, so I don't remember anything from it. Power Rangers was actually based on the Super Sentai series, which Himitsu Sentai Goranger was the first installment of. Once again, thank you to Kazumi Sawatari. In August 2013, Mana made a guest appearance in a music video to the first single of Kamijo's solo career, Louis Enketsu no La Vie Rose. This marked Mana's first music video appearance since Malice Miser, as Moi Dis Moi does not have any official music videos. Mana and Kamijo have been friends since the 1990s, when Kamijo worked as a roadie for Malice Miser. This entry does not refer to those Mana fruit edits you might have seen around the internet like Strawberry Mana or Carrot Mana or Banana Mana. In one of Mana's cooking videos, while he is trying to catch a cherry with his chopsticks, you can hear him whisper the word cherry. Shepard Fairey is an American social activist best known for his street art. He is considered to be one of the most influential street artists. You've probably seen some of his work. For example, this poster made for Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign, or this one. I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean, but from what I've read, it's up to the people seeing it to interpret it in their own way, however they want. He also made album covers for bands like Led Zeppelin, The Smashing Pumpkins, and he even designed Mozilla Firefox's logo at some point. His art, inspired by communist propaganda posters, is supposed to promote social and environmental changes, and also promote anti-war sentiments. Expressing support for Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign, he cited a desire for a healthy planet, for corporate accountability, toward equality and away from racism, sexism, xenophobia and homophobia, for equitable access to opportunity, for full access to the medical care we want or need, for fair and just immigration policies. His 2008 poster, titled Peace Guard, depicts a soldier in a uniform similar to that of Japanese infantry, with a red star on her head and with an armband. She is holding an AK-47 assault rifle, with a rose inserted into its barrel. People on the internet noted a striking similarity of the soldier in the poster to Mana's look for Malice Miser's No Pains No Gains performance, except for the communist symbolism of course. I think it is very likely that Fairy used Mana as a reference for his piece. Credits to Reddit user Vampire Palace for posting this on the Visual K subreddit. I talked about Mana's love for video games, but I didn't mention that he also likes board games. He made a few videos playing board games for the Mwame Moitié YouTube channel. Reb6 is an American synthcore music producer. Quite popular actually, like 55 million YouTube views and 335 million Spotify streams on a song, kinda popular. In 2025, Reb6 and another artist, Poppy Celine, published a song titled Painkiller. They used a photo of Mana as the single's artwork. The reason why they chose this photo is unknown. People think they probably just stumbled across it and thought that's a cute girl or something. However, Reb6 might actually be aware of who Mana is. He used a photo of Miyavi on his Spotify page, so I think he might be familiar with Visual K. But then there comes a question, why did he choose Miyavi as his, profile picture on Spotify? There is a recording of Malice Miser's radio show in which Koji asks Mana some questions. Since Mana doesn't speak in public, he answered Koji's questions by pressing buttons that made sound. The recording was translated by Yuki-san and posted on YouTube by OneMegamix, who also posted Gacked and Koji rap in the tongue twister about Mana, which I mentioned in the Iceberg video.
マナちゃんに次から次へと問題を出してみたいと思いますので、どんどん答えてほしいです。では、よろしいか？ダメなんだ。いいんだ。はい、それでは、いきます。寝るときにはいつもネグリジェである。かっこいいと言われるより綺麗と言われる方が嬉しい。マリスのメンバーの中で一番美しいのは僕、マナだ。マリスのメンバーに言えない秘密がある。松田聖子は自分のライバルである。講師のモノマネはうまいと思う。初キッスは中学校の時である。時々植物に話しかける癖がある。ペチャパよりボインちゃんの方が好きだ。今何よりも欲しいのは愛だ。スキーは大好き。キティちゃんよりキキララの方が好き。実はふんどし派だ。でも女性の下着を身につけたこともある。ウサギとカメならカメが好き。僕はシャイだ。終わり。
Alice Kobayashi was the first designer working for Mana's Mwame Moitié. She was involved with the brand since its launch, making her a very influential figure for the Gothic Lolita fashion. She worked for Mana until 2003 when she became an independent designer, but she did collaborate with Mwame Moitié as recent as 2018. She is currently a designer for a brand named Fairy Wish. I forgot to mention this in the Iceberg, but the name of Mana's fashion brand, Mwame Moitié, was coined out of three French words. Moi meaning me, me meaning self, and moitié meaning half. The name is supposed to be interpreted as one's alter ego as well as one's self. One of the bands that Mana was a part of before Malice Miser, Girly, released a demo tape, the cover of which was drawn by Mana and looks like this. It depicts members of the band and is very cute. He also drew Felix the Cat on the inside cover. By the way, on YouTube you can find a recording of one of Girly's concerts with Mana playing a guitar solo, uploaded by Mirwa Archive. A little more context about Mana's opinions on gender and the backstory to his cross-dressing. In high school he didn't like girly things. It wasn't until joining Girly that he developed an androgynous aesthetic. Quoting Jam Award's Mana biography special, "As a young boy he hated girly things, and when talking about his teenage years he described himself as a hard, aggressive macho man who had a destroy attitude and felt a growing anger against the world." However, in his late teens he began to open up to his feminine side, or, as he put it, he began to realize that there was also a woman inside him. This new awareness led him to believe that a person's soul didn't just exist in the present world, but transcended time in an infinite circle of rebirth. Mana came to the conclusion that gender roles were decided arbitrarily by society and could therefore be disregarded. He had always liked women's clothes because their designs are more playful and varied than men's, and now, to recognize his feminine side, he began to wear them both on and off stage. Here is a video of Mana at a playground. This was recorded during Mwa's tour, while they were in Germany, I think, but I'm not sure about this. Back in school, Mana enjoyed art classes. He liked drawing science fiction pictures and he won some prizes in drawing competitions. According to Jam Award's Mana biography special, he also liked clay modeling, but he especially liked destroying his sculptures because he felt that, quote, "to destroy something that has a shape was art." Mana is very shy. In school he hated music classes because children had to sing one by one in front of the class. Despite being a very notable figure in the visual kei music scene, he isn't very familiar with other musicians. A Mana quote from the Je t'aime Mana-sama Twitter page. "I've been in bands for a long time, but I haven't had much contact with people, so there are quite a few things I don't know." At after parties or events with other bands, Mana and Yuki would most often be sitting in silent corners away from the loudness. In the Tetsu era of Malice Miser, the band designed their stage decorations themselves. Mana recalled sitting outside in the cold and constructing the decorations. One of the decorations that the band used at their concerts were Parthenon pillows. Quote from the Mana's Beautiful World is Forever blog. "One of the stage sets was so large that it would not fit in Mana's room. He didn't think of finding a warehouse he could borrow space at, so he tried to hide the Parthenon pillows in his apartment parking." On a couple of occasions, Mana has gotten a bit freaky with other musicians on Twitter, specifically with Kamijo and Yuki. "Yuki, you've improved so much. You're a great student. Amazing. When teachers called students, they used the whip. Be prepared for that. From now on, I will continue to teach you in a moist, dreamy, sticky and fun way. Mana-sensei." According to Mana's Beautiful World is Forever's blog's translation of a Rock and Read interview with Mana, Koji and Mana used to get up at 5 AM to go to a park to practice dancing. Quote, "There was a building there with reflective windows, so a lot of people would go there to practice dancing. Mana said he wanted to do both theater and dance." Additional context on how Mana and Gect made up years after Gect departed from Malice Miser. Quotes from Mana's Rock and Read interview translated by user Faith of the Escape forums. "I made up my mind to call him. We had absolutely no contact since his sudden departure and subsequent withdrawal from the group. It seems like it's widely believed that Malice Miser won't do a comeback because I, as the leader, never forgave Gect. Whether I forgive him or not is a different problem, but back then I didn't really want to talk to him. I did some research, mulled it over and put everything together, and then I called him. It was a year before the 20th anniversary, so 2011. As a result, nothing came of it, but we started preparations to do something. I met with Gect himself, gathered the other members and we even went out to dinner together. It wasn't just us members, we had meetings with staff and started working out a concrete plan. It was going pretty well, but then, well, stuff happened. Circumstances changed and Gect could no longer do it. One of Mana's hobbies is building garage kits, something he shares with Dada of Velvet Eden. Garage kits are fan-made collectible model kits of characters from anime or whatever else that you buy and assemble and paint yourself. Mana picked up this hobby after moving to Tokyo. He also built wall dioramas, miniature sceneries that he displays against a wall in his house. One of those, mentioned by Dada in the 1998 interview translated by Faith of the Escape Forums, included a pool, a waterfall and a Gundam figurine. And now, finally, a video of Mana driving around a little car and honking at Yuki from Malice Miser's visit to an amusement park.
マリスミゼルの勇気です。マナです。すごく暑いんで、いろいろと大変なんですけど、なんか流してるけど。で、今日はイルミナティ新曲なんですけど、この曲についていろいろお話ししたいんですが、あまりにちょっといろいろと危険なもので、僕の口からはあまり、話せませんが、聞いてください。危険です。もうすぐツアー始まるんですけど、もうリハーサルも入る、準備も進んで、またみんなの期待以上のステージがやれるんじゃないかと、すごい気になるけどあれ思いますんで、期待してとなってください。あんまり緊張感ないですけど、頑張るんで楽しみにしてください。
And so that's it for this video. As I've said, this is just a short addition to the new Mana Iceberg, because I felt very bad about not including some of this stuff in it. Treat it as like an expansion pack for the Iceberg video. I will not combine it with the Iceberg vid to make a single video like I did with separate parts of the gagged Iceberg. Once again, thank you to Haitani, Mumble Honey, Remilia, Big Body Igor and Canary KC for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all for watching and goodbye.